Tensions are rising again across the Indo-Pacific as preparations begin for an important diplomatic visit by Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to Japan. The trip comes at a time when security concerns, maritime disputes, and regional alliances are becoming more sensitive across Asia. Officials in both Manila and Tokyo say the visit is designed to strengthen cooperation in defense, trade, infrastructure, and regional stability. But behind the official statements, analysts believe the meeting carries much deeper strategic importance as regional powers continue to compete for influence in the Pacific. The Philippine president is expected to receive full state guest honors during the visit, a rare diplomatic gesture that highlights the growing importance of relations between the Philippines and Japan. Preparations in Tokyo reportedly include formal ceremonies, bilateral meetings, economic discussions, and strategic dialogues involving senior defense and foreign policy officials. The visit is also expected to focus heavily on maritime cooperation and regional security coordination. In recent years, Japan and the Philippines have steadily expanded their partnership. Both countries share concerns about increasing tensions in the South China Sea and broader security developments across the Indo-Pacific region. Tokyo has increased support for Manila through Coast Guard assistance, surveillance systems, patrol vessels, and defense cooperation programs. Japanese officials say the goal is to help maintain stability and freedom of navigation in international waters while supporting regional partnerships. At the center of the discussions is the growing strategic alignment between Japan, the Philippines, and the United States. Security cooperation among the three countries has become more visible over the past year. Joint military exercises, maritime patrol coordination, and high-level diplomatic meetings have increased significantly. Observers believe the upcoming visit may further deepen the sea partnerships at a time when regional competition continues to intensify. Philippine officials say the visit is not aimed against any specific country. Instead, Manila insists it is pursuing a foreign policy focused on protecting national sovereignty, economic growth, and regional peace. Still, analysts say the timing of the visit sends a strong signal about the Philippines' expanding cooperation with regional allies. Japan has also been increasing its diplomatic and security engagement throughout Southeast Asia. Tokyo views stability in the region as essential for global trade and economic security. Major shipping routes pass through nearby waters, making maritime stability a critical issue for Japan's economy. Because of this, Japanese leaders have placed growing attention on defense partnerships and regional infrastructure investments. Economic cooperation will also play a major role during the visit. Japan remains one of the Philippines' largest development partners and investors. Major Japanese-backed infrastructure projects are already underway across the Philippines, including transportation systems, bridges, rail developments, flood control projects, and energy cooperation. Officials are expected to discuss additional investments aimed at strengthening economic ties and boosting long-term growth. Energy security is expected to become another important topic during the meetings. Rising regional uncertainty and supply chain concerns have pushed many Asian countries to diversify energy cooperation and improve resilience. Japanese and Philippine officials are likely to explore new opportunities involving clean energy, technology transfer, and industrial cooperation. Diplomatic observers note that the state visit also reflects Japan's broader strategy of strengthening ties with countries located along key maritime routes. The Philippines occupies a highly strategic position in the Pacific, making it increasingly important in regional planning discussions. Our international analysts believe Tokyo sees Manila as one of its most important emerging partners in Southeast Asia. The growing relationship between the two countries has also expanded into defense technology and equipment cooperation. Japan recently eased some of its defense export restrictions, allowing closer security partnerships with friendly nations. This opened new opportunities for defense coordination with the Philippines, including radar systems, maritime monitoring support, and other security-related technologies. Meanwhile, regional tensions continue to shape diplomatic discussions across Asia. Maritime incidents in disputed waters have increased concerns among neighboring countries. Philippine authorities have repeatedly emphasized the importance of protecting maritime rights while avoiding further escalation. Japanese officials have also stressed the need for peaceful solutions based on international law. During the upcoming meetings, both sides are expected to reaffirm commitments to regional stability, economic cooperation, and rules-based international engagement. Diplomatic sources say officials may also discuss cybersecurity disaster response cooperation and supply chain resilience as part of a broader strategic framework. Public attention surrounding the visit has increased significantly because it comes during a period of rapid geopolitical change across the region. Governments throughout Asia are adjusting policies in response to shifting security dynamics, economic competition, and technological rivalry among major powers. In this environment, alliances and partnerships are becoming increasingly important. For the Philippines, the visit represents another step in strengthening international partnerships while balancing regional relationships. Manila has recently expanded diplomatic engagement with several countries, including the United States, Japan, Australia, and European partners. Officials say these partnerships are focused on economy, development, disaster preparedness, infrastructure, and national security cooperation. For Japan, the state visit demonstrates Tokyo's intention to remain deeply involved in Southeast Asian affairs. Japanese policymakers have repeatedly emphasized the importance of maintaining an open and stable Indo-Pacific region. Cooperation with the Philippines is seen as a major part of that long-term strategy. Security experts say maritime awareness and Coast Guard coordination may become key outcomes of the meetings. Both countries face increasing pressure to monitor busy sea lanes and respond to regional incidents quickly. Improved information sharing systems and joint coordination efforts are expected to be discussed during bilateral talks. Another area receiving attention is humanitarian and disaster response cooperation. Both Japan and the Philippines frequently face natural disasters, including earthquakes, typhoons, and flooding. Officials believe closer coordination could improve emerging inside preparedness and recovery operations across the region. Diplomatic analysts also point to the symbolic importance of the state guest invitation itself. Such honors are generally reserved for especially important diplomatic relationships. The decision to invite the Philippine president as a state guest reflects the high level of trust and strategic value Tokyo now places on the bilateral relationship. Political observers in Asia say the visit may influence broader regional diplomacy in the coming months. Other Southeast Asian countries are also strengthening ties with major regional powers while carefully managing complex geopolitical realities. The outcome of the meetings between Manila and Tokyo could shape future cooperation frameworks throughout the region. Trade discussions are expected to include supply chains, semiconductor cooperation, digital infrastructure, and industrial investment. Japan continues to play a significant role in Philippine manufacturing and development Expanding these partnerships may become a major focus as both governments seek long-term economic resilience. Regional military exercises involving Japan and the Philippines have also increased over the past year. Defense officials from both countries say these activities are focused on interoperability, maritime coordination, and emergency response readiness. Analysts believe future exercises could become larger and more frequent following the state visit. International attention will likely focus closely on any joint statements released after the meetings. Diplomats expect carefully balanced language emphasizing cooperation, stability, international law, and peaceful engagement. Both governments are expected to avoid unnecessarily escalating regional tensions while still reinforcing their strategic partnership. The visit also reflects changing defense policies within Japan itself. Over recent years, Tokyo has gradually expanded its security posture in response to regional developments. This includes increased defense spending, stronger regional partnerships, and enhanced maritime cooperation initiatives. The Philippines has emerged as one of Japan's closest security partners in Southeast Asia during this period. Officials in Manila continue to emphasize that their foreign policy remains independent and centered on national interests. However, the Philippines has also made clear that protecting territorial rights and maritime access remains a top priority. This balancing approach has shaped many of the country's recent diplomatic decisions. Experts believe the state visit could produce several new agreements or memorandums covering economic investment, defense coordination, infrastructure support, and maritime cooperation. Final details are expected to emerge after formal bilateral meetings conclude in Tokyo. Public reaction in both countries has largely focused on the economic and strategic significance of the partnership. Business groups in particular are watching closely for announcements involving infrastructure financing, technology cooperation, and industrial investment opportunities. In recent years, Japan has become one of the Philippines' most reliable development partners. Large-scale projects supported by Japanese funding have played a major role in transportation and urban development across the country. Expanding this cooperation remains a key priority for Philippine officials seeking long-term economic growth. Regional analysts say the broader Indo-Pacific landscape is becoming increasingly interconnected. Maritime security, trade routes, technological competition, and energy stability are now closely linked. Because of this, bilateral relationships like the one between Japan and the Philippines are taking on greater strategic importance. As preparations continue for the state visit, diplomatic observers expect carefully managed messaging from both sides. Officials are likely to emphasize cooperation, peace, and mutual benefit while avoiding direct confrontation in public statements. Still, the strategic implications of the meetings will be closely monitored across the region. The visit by Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to Japan may ultimately become one of the most closely watched diplomatic events in Asia this year. With regional alliances shifting and geopolitical competition continuing to evolve, the outcome of these discussions could influence future security and economic cooperation across the Indo-Pacific for years to come.